Hey everybody, welcome back to the Infinite Regression. Yes, this is where we start everything, always, constantly. Never forget that this is always staring you right in the face. It's horrifying and beautiful, but mostly horrifying, and it's always there, right behind your eyelids. Hey, it's time to play Lawnmower game. Because why? Because it is. Um, okay, lawnmower game is apparently like a whole thing. Like is like there are achievements. There's been like this is a year ago, but like as I was scrolling through the games, like I put the lawnmower game in my cart, and then I found like several more lawnmower games. It was like, oh, there are so very many of you. There's like a lot of lawnmower games. What? Okay. Okay, I guess I'm allowing access to lawnmower game for multiplayer purposes. I don't know. I I don't know. I may have just been like, hey, Russian friends, get all of my things. Oh, I got an achievement for starting the game. How very fantastic of you. That's amazing. All right, lawnmower game. You are apparently a bottom of the Steam barrel institution. I was surprised by how big the install was for this game. Massive. I mean, look at these awesome graphics, given the massiveness. Um, yeah. Okay. 100% on them graphics, though. That's good to know. Oh, let's do a tutorial. Oh, wait, that's the tutorial. Game only idea is to cut grass and collect yellow fuel cans. The gasoline does not go to zero. There is no other target in the game. Player gets points for cutting grass that is inside the fences. After grass is cutted, it grows again. Should I be reading this with accent? Game only idea is to cut grass and collect yellow fuel cans that gasoline not goes to zero. There is no other target in game. Player gets points for cutting grass that is inside the fences. After grass is cutted, it grows up again. Also, when player fuel goes to zero, player will respawn to starting location. Lawnmower has automatic transmission and top speed about 20 kilometers per hour. Okay. Was there and then okay. Okay. All right. Let's get this rolling. This font does not seem like it matches the concept of a lawnmower type game, but far be it from me. I'm legitimately going to try and give this every chance because it looks like. Okay, you saw how little luck we had with Dude Simulator. Oh, look at them graphics. Okay, how do I get inside a fence? Oh, there it is. Okay. Um. It's not a yellow gas can. It's green. Yeah, am I cutting it? That's like debatable. 100% debatable. Um. Okay. Also, I gotta turn this up. Like, how? It's kind of quiet. Like, okay. Continue. I think I'm mowing grass. Also, like, who sets up grass like this? This mower has no like catcher bag. Like it's very like it would just be spewing the grass clippings everywhere. Oh, there's windmills. Oh, this is very ecologically friendly. Hopefully this is an electric lawnmower. Just kidding, it's not. I like, why would I be picking up gas cans for my electric lawnmower? Shades of like all the like videos and pictures of people who have found like people trying to gas up a Tesla, and you just hope that it's either borrowed or rented at that point. Is like, please do not let this be your car that you think takes gas. Like, how would you end up with it? You know, like, it is an electric car. Like, a lot of people really wish they could have one of these. You know, especially those of us in the, like, lower budget car range where we're not buying new cars, we're buying used cars for the rest of our lives, and we know this to be true. We're just kind of like, yeah, that is what it is. We're just gonna let that be. And anyway, let's see how much. Oh, back up to 82 on the gas. Got myself a green, aka yellow gas can. Okay. But I am mowing the ever-loving life out of this grass. Oh, you know what? Like, should I be doing the L shape like people sometimes do, where you go, like, is that a more efficient use of my fuel? Maybe. Mayhap. Let's do a little bit of an L shape. Let's, you know, just spice it up. Just put a little spice in our life. Oh, look, it's a jack-o'-lantern. It's Jack of the Lanterns. I mean, I could just mow around the square until, like, it gets smaller and smaller. I mean, it'll make it more ridiculous for my fuel economy, because I could tell the fuel is set up for a simple back and forth type of motion, but whatever. I can, like, just plow over and grab a gas can if I start getting really low. Getting a sweet score, though. Like, I have to admit, this is very much like mowing a lawn. If you've ever mowed a lawn, this is, like, realistic. It doesn't look like my wheels are moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they spinning? Are my tires spinning? Because it looks like they're quite stationary. As you can see to the contrary, they are quite stationary. Anyway, gonna see if we can mow this here. Make it count. Decent turn radius on this mower, though, I will admit. And look at how, like, cut I am. Like, I am a buff dude, bald, wearing some sort of, like, is it called a kippa? No, it's too big. That's more like a like what a jockey wears in horse racing. You know, those ridiculous, like, it's like a hat, but it's also like a helmet. It's kind of ridiculous, and you're like, yes, you are a wee miniature man with your little horse racing helmet. Wait, is it growing back faster than I can? I need to really start thinking about gas at this point. Oh. Well, hello there, gas can. You are my only friend. Hello, gas can, my only friend. I've come to drink the gas again. Anyway. Man, this is like as exciting as watching someone mow a lawn. Without like, and you see what it leaves behind. It's a very like, I gotta like sharpen my blade or something, or lower my blade, cause like, that is a very rough cut. Like, let us all agree on that much. That is a rough cut of grass. Like, ain't no way this guy's cutting grass for, like, MLB stadiums and whatnot. Or like, friggin', the English Premier League. Like, any sport that, like, has intricate patterns carved into the grass with the upward and downward mowing. Yeah, ain't no way this fool is getting any of that kind of business, 'cause, like, not on this mower anyway. Like, this mower is, leaves a raggedy pattern. Okay, fuel's getting down a little low again. Just be looking out for fuel cans. We start getting down into 15%. Got to start getting serious about that gas, about that fuel consumption. This is, so far, an almost unbearably boring game. Like, it is 100% accurate as to, like, what did the game say it was? What is the game? Well, can I say that I'm surprised? Not necessarily. Can I say that, like, maybe I should have made a smarter purchase? Yeah, it's on me, folks. It's on me. Okay, I'm gonna take a little detour and pick up this gas can. Okay. Only got me up to 45. Jeez. Like, hopefully there will be an actual gas can, like a gas can, like, on my route sometime in my near future. Oh, is that one just respawning all the time? It feels like that one's respawning. But whatever, man. Like, whatever, man. I'm just happy to be mowing, you know what I'm saying? Play for 10 minutes, yeah. I did it. I played for 10 minutes. They're like, yeah, we are surprised. We are surprised that you have stuck it out this long. We, the developers, did not stick it out this long. Nah, they probably did. They're like, what if we made a game about mowing lawns? Because that's like... Because for some people, like, this legitimately is, like, the greatest happiness a man can have is mowing his lawn. But, like, even then, even if you were that guy, I doubt very much that this game is going to bring you the vibes that you're looking for, because, like, it doesn't give you that satisfying mode look. Like, okay, I'm a guy who's done some lawn mowing in my time, and, like, it is very, very satisfying to mow your lawn and know that, like, you made it look good. You know? Like, I've done some really nice mowing jobs in my time. Now, granted, I have always been envious of those who like mow serious lawns, you know, who do stadiums and whatnot. Which, by the way, like, there is no greater waste of lawn mowing prowess than the golf course. Golf courses are such a waste. They're so wasteful. Honestly, we should institute a policy, like, until we are sure that, like, we have water, clean drinking water for the next several generations. Like, we should really, really think about not letting anyone play golf. Like, because of how much land it takes up and how much water it takes up. And it's just so very wasteful. And it's a thing where it's like, yeah, 4 guys can do it at a time. And, like, how much land do those 4 guys take up? Like, several square miles. Like, what? Well, and you're like, oh, but those several square miles of land are, like, at least environmentally friendly, right? And it's like, nope, they are not. They are immaculately kempt, like, almost, they're like the type of lawns that would make Charles II weep. You know what I'm saying? Charles II is, among other things, he's known for being the fun king. He's the one who once gave a speech in the nude from the roof of a pub where he had been drinking with his buddies. Fun king. Like, everyone gets tired of Cromwell. They're like, Cromwell, you're no fun anymore. And Cromwell's like, but I tried to give representation to the people. Am I going to be remembered as a douchebag throughout history? And people are like, yeah, pretty much, because you outlawed everything fun in the name of, like, your religious beliefs. So yes, we will remember you as kind of a douchebag. But, like, anyway, so, oh, he's barefoot. I'm just realizing he's mowing barefoot. That's so dumb. It's a terrible idea. Anyway, so, Charles II, like, Cromwell was a Puritan, and so they really did outlaw everything fun. Like, they even, like, it's a beautiful thing when, like, Christmas is too ridiculous a thing for Puritans. Like, the very religious people are like, yeah, don't celebrate Christmas. Meanwhile, like, Jehovah's Witnesses within the sound of my voice are like, exactly, Oh, I played for 15 minutes. And I still haven't mowed this is quite tedious. Like, hopefully you enjoy factoids about British monarchs, because, like, that's all I got. That's all I got to make this interesting. Anyway, Charles II, the fun king, like, he, they killed his dad, so, like, he was, he hightailed it for a bit. He didn't stick around to find out if they would do the same to him. And, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, Cromwell takes over, and then they did, as a matter of fact, invent the concept. The modern monarchy, the way that it is now, where, like, the monarch has literally, like, no power whatsoever, where it's like, we will obsess over your personal lives, but not give a crap about what you have to say politically. And the royals were like, that seems like a fair trade. And so like that has been the arrangement ever since. And Cromwell was the one who ushered that in. And so bringing Charles II back to the throne, which was very much a move of expediency, because was his name Thomas Cromwell? It was Oliver Cromwell's son. Cromwell himself ruled as Lord Regent, the first Lord Regent of England, during was known as the Interregnum, the period in which, like, honest to God, if you don't enjoy history and you don't enjoy lawn mowing, you are hating this right now. Anyway, but like, the period known as the Interregnum, in which Oliver Cromwell and his homies were, ruling England, and they had the popular voice of the people, which was something the people were not willing to give up, and should not have been willing to give up, just so Charles II could come back and be fun, which he was. He was well, actually, a lot of people really hate on Charles II for so many reasons, like, because the idea of a king who's like, woohoo, I'm naked on the top of a pub and I'm giving a speech, like, people are like, we look for something a little different in our royal families. It's like, well, I wouldn't. Like, honestly, I would be grateful. Like, what are you looking for? Carl the 16th Gustav? Is that what you're looking for in your life? Like, just a guy who's very like, I guess I am king, like, is what his face says. You look at him and it's like it's a surprise to him too. It's like, I inherited this. I guess it's a thing. That's how he talks to this 100% accurate. So yeah, during the interregnum, the people got used to having their voices being heard, and then, and so Charles II was only allowed to take the throne if he agreed to this set of circumstances under which he would have no real political power, but would have, like this, like basically the status that the royals have today, which, like, that's kind of a sweet gig. Like, you don't have to get caught up in the trappings of political power, and so people don't blame you when everything goes wrong, except they kind of do. And then you just are like, yeah, I'm a figurehead, and I'm like the mascot for our country, and our national anthem is about keeping me safe. Anyway, I'm just hoping that there's like anything as a reward for finishing this, for like mowing the entire field. But we'll find out. Like, I don't know. I don't know what possible thing could make this worth it. Anyway. Yeah. I've heard many reasons why people did not like Charles II, and I've heard reasons why people really liked Cromwell. But Cromwell seemed like a freaking drag. But consider this. Like, this is a fun fact that I shared with my freshman class, which I shouldn't have, because they are undeserving of such, like, fun things. They were so terrible today. Well, like, a couple of them in particular The other ones were like either not there or fine. But a lot of them missing today, and so like they gave a lot of room for like the worst kid in the class to be like, my personality will be dominant today. And it's like, why do I have to deal with this? Anyway, so yeah, like, you know how it's well known that in Shakespeare's day, all of the roles of young women were played by young men. So the first time that Romeo kissed Juliet on stage, it was two men kissing a thank you a very much. So, and people are like, really? That's gay. It's like, nah, it's literally not. Because what makes it gay is when two gay people are doing it for gay reasons. Like, if it were, like, because I don't know, like, it's entirely possible that the theater in Shakespeare's time attracted the same amount of, the same number of homosexuals that it attracts now. That's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's entirely possible. It would seem to make a lot of sense, quite frankly. But regardless, in Shakespeare's day, all of the blushing ingenues were played by young beardless men. And why? People will often know that fact, but they won't know the why. The fear was that if women were allowed to act on stage, that it would immediately turn into prostitution. Okay? So, like, that sounds ridiculous to us in this day and age. Like, really? You think all of the actresses, all of the female actors are just going to turn to a life of prostitution if you let them be on stage? And it's like, yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what we are afraid of. Except for, like, okay, so under the reign of Cromwell, as part of outlawing everything fun, it became like things like Christmas, celebrating Christmas became unacceptable because, like, Christmas is, so many of the things are tied to pagan holidays. And people back then would have known it. And also because of practices like wassailing, which, like, wassailing, they would go from house to house. A drunken mob would go from house to house, just carousing and ridiculous. And if you refuse to feed them and or give them more booze, they would, like, wreck your house. It was not trick or treat. It was like, booze or we are tearing this place to the ground. Which, honestly, like, sounds kind of fun unless you're on the receiving end. Like, I would just, make sure that my liquor cabinet is well stocked going into the holiday season. Like, why even, why even test fate? My WASD hand is getting tired because I'm just holding W the whole time. Anyway, so yeah, like, yeah, so Cromwell and his cronies outlawed everything fun. So, like, music and dancing and happiness and smiling and whistling and, like, I mean, some of those are exaggerations and some of them surprisingly not. And they also outlawed the theater because it was unseemly. And so they tore down all the theaters at that time. And then when Charles II came back, there was all of a sudden this massive demand for theaters. People were like, we need the theater. And what kind of things were they writing? Like, this was the time when Afra Ben became the first woman in, like, possibly in all of recorded history. I don't know of a single instance outside of her, but the first woman to publish under her own name. You know, like, she was a playwright, and a very popular one at that. And she had plays published under her name, which was so unusual at the time, but so fantastic. Because, like, good for you, Afra Ben, like, you're doing it. But on the other hand, what kind of plays were people writing back then? Oh, hilarious freaking sex comedies. And when I say sex comedies, I mean sex comedies. And, like, you think, like, oh, how dirty could a play be back then? You would be surprised, is the answer to that question. You would be surprised. Okay, take everybody's favorite scene from was it Shadwell who wrote A Country Wife? Anyway, regardless, whoever wrote A Country Wife is a very popular play at the time. So A Country Wife, this dude goes out into the country and he meets this beautiful, beautiful woman, and he marries her. And then he brings her back to the city where he lives. And his friends all know that he's gone off into the country and married a beautiful wife. He will not introduce his wife to his friends because because he is afraid that they would because he's afraid that his friends would try to sleep with her because she's very beautiful, and his friends are all they call them rakes. Really, it's more like they're just very creeps. Like, it was a time when, like, you know, the chastity of women was very, very much prized. So, like, women were expected to do all they could to, like, protect their chaste and virtuous nature, and men were just generally expected to try and take the women. Yeah, those wheels are not turning at all. Anyway, but we're expected to, like, if a woman was beautiful, like, the men would just be like, we are all going to try and nail her, right? And and so that's why in The Country Wife, he's trying to hide his wife from his friend. Now, and oh, by the way, I have an idea for a screen adaptation of The Country Wife as a teen movie. It would be fantastic. Like, it would be so hilarious, and it would totally stand up today. Trust me on this. Anyway, so the thing is that so there's this one guy who is a known rake. Like, he is a known womanizer. Everybody knows it. And, like, he's slept with so many dudes' wives that, like, no man wants to leave his wife alone with this guy for a single second. Well, he tells everybody that he has suffered a terrible injury to his groinital area and that he is no longer able to perform his manly duties, nor even become aroused at all, I believe. It's been a while since I've read the play. And so, like, the married men are like, oh, that's freaking hilarious. Like, this dude who's, like, nailing everybody's wife all of a sudden, like, can't get it up. That's amazing. And, yeah, remember, this is a play that was written, like, several, like, a few hundred years ago. Like, and it is filthy dirty. Anyway, so, so yeah, this guy who is pretending to have a groin injury is actually, like, letting these guys' wives help him fix his groin injury, but like he is pretending to just be one of the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the wives are like, oh yeah, he's just basically one of the girls now, and that's how we're gonna treat him. And all of the husbands think this is freaking hilarious. They're like, oh, karma. What goes around comes around, you idiot. Like, and so now all of a sudden, because they think this guy is impotent, they are like, yeah, wife, you could totally hang out with this guy. Now, there is a scene, and it is freaking hilarious. I gotta find out if I can crush this pumpkin. That's like, we just need to know. I've been wondering. Yes, I knew that would be a freaking achievement. Anyway, so, okay, it's gonna regrow as soon as I finish it, right? Anyway, should mow things that don't need mowing. Flowers. Oh, they're not even getting mowed. Alright. Well then. Gotta, like, try and dump the mower in the river. At some point. Anyway. So yeah, there's this scene where, like, the character who's faking impotence, he gets himself locked up with this. Oh yeah, this spells something. Collect pumpkin 3. Let's see, what does this say? Oh, it's just gonna say lawnmower or something. Anyway, so this dude lets his wife go into a locked room with this guy who's previously slept with every freaking buddy's wife. Lets him go into a locked room, and he's like, oh, your wife's been very naughty, and so I'm gonna beat her up a little bit. And the guy's like, yeah, give it to her. So meanwhile, he is inside, and he is not beating up this guy's wife. He is, like, doing very focused bludgeoning damage to one very specific part of her body. You know, if you catch my drift, you know, he is focusing his blows, so to speak, in just one region. What the frick? Anyway, just trying to figure out what's out there. Anyway, so yeah. So like he's inside loudly banging this guy's wife. Loudly. Like loudly. And then the dude is yelling through the door like, "Yeah, give it to her. Teach her a lesson. Like, she can't mess with you like that. Like, you give her what for. Like, and do it for me. Like, like, come on. Bang one out for the Gipper." Like, does not realize that he is, like, cheerleading his own cuckolding. Like, it is one of the most hilarious scenes I've ever read in anything ever. And so, like, yeah, that's how things got under the reign of Charles II. And so, like, you know, did people have legitimate gripes about, like, how maybe he didn't handle the economy the way that he maybe should have and whatnot, like, or how he was just generally kind of irresponsible as a monarch? Yeah, all valid claims. He did bring in French gardens, which is what got me on this tangent to begin with. But he also brought back the theater, and the theater became so popular that they were converting tennis courts, like, because tennis was allowed under Cromwell because it was, you know, like, tennis is a very pure and wholesome activity. Sorry. And so yeah, he totally allowed tennis during his time as Lord Regent. And so, like, there were all these tennis courts, and during the reign of Charles II, they took all these tennis courts, you know, kept the seating, rearranged the grounds, you know, built in stages to them because they already had seating for spectators. There were, like, ready-made theaters. And the theater took off in a way that it had not since Elizabethan times, you know, which is Shakespeare's time. And so, yeah, the last of the Tudor monarchs, because Elizabeth was followed by James IV of Scotland, who was the first king to unite the thrones of both England and Scotland, and was the first Stuart king. Anyway, so yeah, that's things to know. I learned that fact just recently my own self. Like, I was trying to brush up on my knowledge of the reigns of British monarchs, and was like, oh, derp, herpeted derp. Like, James the First was actually James the Fourth of Scotland, and then became the first Stuart monarch. Like, okay. Because I, like, in my brain, I was like, how is it that the last Tudor gives rise to the first Stuart? Like, because James and Elizabeth, like, was James her son? Or her, like, James and Elizabeth were blood related. Whether he was her son or not, I forget. I think he was, but I could be wrong. Anyway, regardless, back to Charles II. So, theater becomes so prominent. You have women publishing under, well, a woman publishing under her own name for the first time in Western history, and possibly in all history as far as I know. Like, um, the imperialist powers of Western Europe did many things, but they did not invent patriarchy. That was, widespread and well known. Okay, I'm gonna need some more fuel. Where is more fuel? Anyway, because I'm gonna dump this thing in a ditch. So, Charles II, as king, fully supported the theater and patronized it quite a bit, and which made the people feel like, okay, it's cool for us to go to the theater again. And go they did. And the funny thing is that the exact thing that they were terrified about in Shakespeare's time, oh my God, we can't let women take to the stage, otherwise it is going to be a full frontal assault on their chastity. They're basically going to become prostitutes. Oh, I just wanted to see if I could do any harm to that at all. But yeah, like, oh no, they're going to become prostitutes if we let them become actresses. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So, like, the great actresses during the reign of Charles II were also, like, courtesans, basically, where, the very wealthy would go to the plays. I mean, everybody would go to plays. It was a whole thing, both high and low. You had your, wealthy people up in the boxes. You had your poor people down in the peanut galleries. And that's the way that was. And, like, everybody accepted it. Everybody was cool about it. But, like, the very wealthy had the added bonus of being able to be like, you see that one there? She delights me. Have her washed and brought to my room. Like, that's what they were doing. So, like, yeah. Oh, I was thinking of driving all the way out to the windmills, but that ain't gonna happen. So, yeah, like, it is totally hilarious that, like, when you tell people, because people be like, well, why didn't they let women be actresses in Shakespeare's time? And it's like, because they were worried about prostitution. And people are always like, really? And then you have to be like, no, but seriously though, like, because that's exactly what happened. Goodness, Charles II, you are the living end. Okay, I feel very much like Dude Simulator that I have played the ever-loving crap out of this game and have gotten very little out of it. There was no, like, fireworks or celebrations or achievements when I mowed that entire first field. And, it feels like there's just not much. Let's just put a period at the end of that sentence right there. So I'm going to see if I can plow this into the water. I kind of doubt it because it doesn't seem like the kind of game that would have wasted time on that kind of resources. Okay, come on, dude. Okay, I can't go forward or backward. I am stuck. Hold up. Oh, and I don't have, like, controls or anything, so, like, come on. Come on, dude. Get it. Get in there. Anyway, regardless. So yeah. If you watch this, you maybe learn some facts about the reign of Charles II, which is always a good time. And hopefully you like that, because, like, this game didn't have anything else. Okay, Lawnmower game. We played it for a while, and boy, man, You talk about a game that does not deliver the goods, that does not give you a reason to play it as long as I played it. So unsatisfying. So unsatisfying. Like, honestly, instead of playing this game, get GTA San Andreas, get the remake. It's coming out tomorrow, literally tomorrow. Um, and play that one mission where you gotta torch the marijuana fields. There you go. Do that. It's way more satisfying. Like, there you go. That's honestly. Or do the one where you have to steal the combine. That's way more fun. Way more fun. Um, and like it's not like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a game about stealing combines. It's not. Like, you do that one time. I mean, you could probably do it more times because, like, what can't you do in San Andreas? Vice City's still the best GTA game, by the way. Vice City for life. Um, I am so glad that, like, I'm going to be able to play that on the Switch before too long. I mean, of course, I'm going to have to be able to afford it. And we're going to have to look at, like, what's happening to my pay when I be taking them 2 days of suspension without pay. It's going to be a whole thing. Anyway, regardless, like, um, freaking freshmen. So done with those idiots. Regardless. So yeah, lawnmower game. Like, very little return on your investment of 49 cents. Do you get 49 cents worth of enjoyment out of lawnmower game? No, you do not. You do not. I played it for well over 45 minutes. And, yeah, that's time I ain't ever getting back. The only thing I got out of it was that I recorded some thoughts on the reign of Charles II, which, like, I think he's kind of a hoot, but that's because, like, he had no effect on my country, really. So, I mean, not too much. And so, like, I can look at Charles II and be like, that's hilarious. Anyway, regardless, people, like, ain't no way that you should have made it through this video. Like, you have to really like lawnmowers or really like facts about Charles II. Otherwise, you ain't got no reason. Did I say that I got on that Charles II tangent because he was very fond of French gardens because he spent time in France during his time away, his banishment. I mean, he was really banished. He was kind of like, or exiled. He was kind of, they knew where he was, and they were like, yeah, just stay there, like, or we'll do to you what we did to your dad, which is publicly execute. Yeah, and then he came back and was like, boom, let's do this. Anyway, regardless, I don't need to bore you with more facts about Charles II. Fact is, lawnmower game less exciting than facts about British monarchs who died a long time ago. And many people think, like, there are many people who will argue that Charles II was a net negative for England. So, yeah, feel about that however you want. Anyway, people, this game right here, lawnmower game, boom. 3 out of 10 Necco wafers. Necco wafers, if you've never had them, first of all, your life is #blessed. Nobody hates you enough to have fed you Necco wafers. Look, since 1847, what kind of delicious candy do you think they were serving up in 1847? Boo, chalk. These taste like chalk. Everyone says it. I wish I could give a more apt description that could dig into my bag of English vocabularies and pull out something more appropriate than chalk. But, like, is chalk, though? Is, like, legit chalk. Necco wafers are like, okay, kids, how bad do you want that sugar? Are you willing to eat essentially a big old thick stick of chalk to get it? Because that's what you're going to have to do if you're going to get that sugar from us. These are so bland and so awful. Oh my God. Not even a drunken Charles II would have eaten them, and he was apparently drunk quite a bit. He was a good time. Necco wafers suck. Necco wafers suck. Lawnmower game sucks. Lawnmower game, guess what? Lawnmower game? First of all, like, how the freak? Let's look at the properties of, like, how 2.38 gigabytes. Yeah. You think I'm going to uninstall this bad boy? With glee, I uninstall you. You think I'm going to hide this game? Oh, for shame. For shame, lawnmower game. Go hide yourself. Anyway, ladies and gents, that is it for this one. Please don't play Lawnmower Game. It's a waste of your time. Instead, get a book on the life of Charles II and be glad you did. Anyway, people, that is it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.